यशोधानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुनतीरावनचारी यमुनतीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोधानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुनतीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जो विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिवदगाचार्य अष्टोत्तर सदस्य श्रीमद अभयचरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की ग्रंथराज श्रीमद भागवतम की ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 18, Text 24 and 25. Text 24 don't have purport, so I'll read the sloka on translation. Gate rajani sadhire tatrasma rudati pituhu yavedayat tatas sarvam uktam sarmishtaya kritam. Translation. Thereafter, when the learned king returned to his palace, Devayani returned home crying and told her father Sukracharya about all that had happened because of Sarmishta. She told how she had been thrown into the well but was saved by the king. Text 25. Please repeat. Durmana Durmanah Bhagavan Kavyah Paurohityam Vigarhayan Stuvan Vrittim Cha Kapotim Duhitra Saha Yayau Purat Durmana Bhagavan Kavya Durmana Bhagavan Kavya Paurohityang Vigarhayan Paurohityang Vihargayan Stuvan Vritting Chakapotim Stuvan vritting chakapotim Duhitra sayayau purad Duhitra sayayau purad Durmana bhavan kavya Aurohityang vigarhayan Stuvan vrittim chakapotim Duhitra sayaya purad Durmana bhavan kavya Aurohityam chagarhayan Duhitra sayayau puran Durmana bhavan kavya Aurohityam viharhayan Stuvan vritting chakapotim Duhitra sayayau purat. Matajis. Durmana bhavan kavya Paurohityang vigharhayan Stuvan vrittim chakapotim Duhitra sayayau purat. Durmanaha, being very unhappy. Bhagavan, the most powerful. Kavyaha, Sukracharya. Paurohityam, the business of priesthood. Vigarhayan, condemning. Stuvan, praising. Vrittim, the profession. Cha, and. Kapotim, of collecting grains from the field. Duhitra, with his daughter. Saha, he, Sukracharya. Yayau, went. Purat, from his own residence. Translation and purport given by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, founder Acharya of International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Translation. As Sukracharya listened to what had happened to Devayani, his mind was very much aggrieved, condemning the profession of priesthood and praising the profession of Unchavritti, collecting grains from the fields. He left home with his daughter. Purport. When a Brahmana adopts the profession of a kapota or pigeon, he lives by collecting grains from the field. This is called Unchavritti. A Brahmana who takes to this Unchavritti profession is called first class because he depends completely on the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and does not beg from anyone. Although the profession of begging is allowed for a Brahmana or sannyasi, one does better if he can avoid such a profession and completely depend on the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead for maintenance. Sukracharya was certainly very sorry that because of his daughter's complaint, he had to go to his disciple to beg some mercy, which he was obliged to do because he had accepted the profession of priesthood. In his heart, Sukracharya did not like his profession, but since he had accepted it, he was obliged to go unwillingly to his disciple to settle the grievance submitted by his daughter. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vikasa Swaminiti Namine. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine. Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Durmana Bhagavan Kagim Duhitra Sayav Purat. As Sukracharya listened to what had happened to Devayani, his mind was very much aggrieved. Condemning the profession of priesthood and praising the profession of Unchavritti, collecting grains from the fields, he left home with his daughter. Hare Krishna. So today we are continuing to hear this chapter in which how Yayati, King Yayati, he saw Devayani, and then how they got married, and before what happened, because Devayani was put into the well by Sarmishta, and because of providence, King Yayati came across that well, and then he saw Devayani, and then he was contemplating whether, because he touched her, and then he brought from the well, because he saw her naked. So Devayani was telling King Yayati that you have to marry me, because this is arranged by providence. So even though you are a king, I belong to a Brahmana family, but still because of providence this is arranged. So please accept me. So Devayani was requesting this, and then King Yayati also, instead of suddenly accepting, he was contemplating whether it is dharmic or adharmic. So, and then he also contemplated after contemplating for a long time, and then he decided, okay, this is, even though it's a pratiloma marriage, but still because of providence this happened. So this is nothing wrong in accepting a Brahmin girl. So he told he accept her. So then what happened in the last verse we saw that after these things happened, both of them went to their respected places. King Yayati went to his palace, and then in last verse the description is there that Devayani was crying, and then he is approaching his father. And then Devayani told her father what had happened before. These are the things happened. So she was crying. In many places in this chapter, Prabhupada, when the description of Devayani comes, sometimes Prabhupada uses the word the proud Devayani. So she is also, because she is from a Brahmin girl, he has some prestige. So because of false prestige, she also spoke harshly, and then because of that, Sharmishta also replied to that. So Prabhupada mentions she is proud. And then here we can see, because of proud there, she harshly spoke to Sarmishta. And here also she is crying and approaching his father. And then why she was crying, this is also the result of proudness only. When sometimes, because of false ego, when one is not able to, do the things properly, then if one is not able to perform some activities or do a revenge or something like that, if one is like that, then because of their inability, this is also one of false ego. Because of that, the tears came and then she was crying to her father. Now, after listening to her daughter, here Sukracharya, he was also thinking, he was very much aggrieved, and he was condemning the being a Brahmana. He saw how this may happen to a Brahmana, because we can see the qualities of Brahmanas. Patan, Patan, Yajan, Yajan, Dana, Pratigraha. So they are expert in Vedas, and then they teach Vedas also, and then they are expert in, they know how to perform rituals, and then they perform rituals also, and then they accept charity, and then when excess is there, they give in charity also. So these are the things. And then this, the qualification of Brahmins, they are also not greedy. When excess donation comes, it is not their mentality to keep for them for future, not like that. They gives in charity. Whatever required, they will collect, that they will accept. Remaining, they give in charity. And this is a good mentality. And Prabhupada sometimes he gives an example of birds. How if a bag of paddy or rice, if it fell in the ground, when the bird comes, it will take how much it requires, it will go. But a greedy man, if he see the bag, he will take the whole bag, and then he wants to keep it for future. So, but Brahmana's quality is not like that. They are so sober. So they perform austerities, they depend on Krishna. And also, in Bhagavad Gita also, Krishna mentions about the qualification of a Brahmana. Samo, Damas, Tapas, Chaucham, Shanti, Rajam, Mevacha, Jnana, Vijnana, Mastikam, Brahma, Karma, Svabhavacham. So these are all qualities, tolerance, austerity, cleanliness, and then having this knowledge of Vedas. These are good qualifications. And Brahmanas, they are simple. And being a Brahmana, being a powerful Brahmana, we can see in this verse also, while describing about Sukracharya, the word mentions Bhagavan. Prabhupada mentions whenever, when we, sometimes in Vedas, when it explains about some most powerful person, like Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, sometimes they are also called as Bhagavan. Here also the word Bhagavan was used, but we understand Supreme Personality of Godhead is Krishna, and here because he is most powerful Brahmana, so the word Bhagavan is used here. This is also has to be noted. And then, being such a Brahmana, he was condemning his profession, his own profession. You can see. And and here he's praising one of the profession of Brahmana called Uncha Vritti. It's, as I mentioned before, it's collecting grains from the field. They will not depend on others. They will not go for other services. They just simply go to the field, whatever leftover grains that they will collect, and they will sustain on that. And he is praising this profession. In Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th canto, Krishna explains about explaining about Varnashrama system. There he explains the duties of Brahmana. There it's mentioned that if for a Brahmana, because he performs rituals and all, and he has disciples, he is teaching Vedas. Whenever charity comes, he uses for his maintenance, and then the extra is there, he is giving in charity. But still, because of accepting charity, if he feels that accepting this charity disturbs in his spiritual advancement, or if it disturbs his austerity, then he can just perform the activities of teaching the Vedas, performing sacrifice. If even that also, if by doing these activities, still if he is disturbed and still if he thinks that it hampers its spiritual advancement, then without depending upon anyone, he just takes the profession of Unchavritti. In explaining in this verse, Prabhupada was explaining about these professional beggars, because Brahmanas are not dependent on anyone, but still using that as an advantage, there are many professional beggars. Prabhupada mentions that in big temples, all over the world, in India, big temples outside, in front of the gate, in the name of Brahmanas, they will sit and then they will ask for charity. And then they are not satisfied. Actually, Brahmana means whatever comes to him, he should be satisfied with that. But these beggars, if they gave less, they will ask, oh, why you are giving less? Give me more, give me more. But Prabhupada condemned these professional beggars who just to maintain their bodies and in the name of Brahmana, but not having the proper qualification, but just for livelihood, many are engaging in that activities, but Prabhupada is condemning that activities also. Because if just for one personal livelihood, if one takes charity, and then if he is not distributing any knowledge to others, and he is not performing his actual duties properly, then the charity will, by the charity he will be diminished. So we should be careful in accepting this charity. And then these Brahmanas, one of the qualities is that they will not depend on anyone, and then they will collect grains in the field. They are living like that. Even if they don't get any food, even they will starve and they will die, but they will not, accept anyone's service. They will maintain their quality of being a Brahmana. Because why? Because the Brahmanas, they understand Brahma Jhanati iti Brahmana. They know about Brahman. They know who they are and who is God and what is the relationship with God. And they know the purpose of life. They know that everything depends on Krishna. So, so they are not thinking about their own, they are not focusing on their own personal bodily maintenance. Because they know this body is temporary, they know the Brahma Jnana is there. This knowledge about Brahman is there. They know what is the purpose of life, they will perform the charity, and then they will, they live to satisfy the purpose of this life. So in this way they live. That's why they are Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma. In Bhagavad Gita also it's mentioned, na shoshati na kankshati. They will not lament. They will not hanker after many things. They will not hanker for more. Whatever the Lord provides, they will be satisfied. And then Krishna also mentions in Bhagavad Gita that Ananyas Chintayanto Mam Ejana Paripasate Tesham Nityabhiyuktanam Yogakshema Vahamyaham. Because in this purport, Prabhupada, when he was explaining about this Unchavritti, the collecting grains from the field, why he is praising this quality? Because these first-class Brahmanas, they are completely depending on the mercy of the Lord. This qualification, this is the main qualification one need. If one is completely dependent on Krishna, then this qualification, actually this qualification is the main main thing in a Brahmana. Even though he is very much expert in Vedas, but if he is not having this attitude of we should depend on Krishna, if he is not having that attitude, then he is losing his position. And then Krishna himself promises that for devotees, those who are depending completely on the Krishna, they are not only first-class Brahmanas, they are called Vaishnavas, they are devotees of the Lord. So Krishna tells, who worship me in love and devotion, I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have. Krishna clearly mentions. So a devotee should have firm convictions in the words of Krishna, then he can act for the welfare of the people. Because even in our movement ISKCON, Prabhupada many times mentioned this movement is for bringing the Brahmanical culture. He told. Brahmanical culture, that means here also we are also collecting donations, but we should be careful. Prabhupada mentions in the purport that whatever donation that we collect, if we want to use for our even one paisa, if we use it for our own satisfaction, then it binds us, then it's not proper. Whatever is required for Krishna, that we have to do. Prabhupada mentions that in our ISKCON centers, so many, so much prasadam we are distributing. Even some people are surprised. Oh, how is these people? They are not at all working, but still they are, they are maintaining their life. How you are maintaining? They were surprised, but they don't know this. They don't know this. What is that? This technique. The secret they don't know. Just by depending on Krishna, one can live a proper life. And Bhakti Vikas Maharaj, he was also mentioning in one of his lecture that there was a Ratha Yatra in London, and after Ratha Yatra, Maharaj and Jayadvaita Swami, both of them were speaking, and then one woman came to them, to Jayadvaita Swami, and then she was asking many questions, how it is happening like this. So many questions she asked, and at last she was asking, you people, where you are working? No, we are not working. Means we are doing service only. Okay. How you are earning money? No, it just depends on Krishna. And then second time she was asking, no problem, but still you are spending lots of money, but still, where is your income? What you are doing? Maharaj Jayadvaita Swami told, it depends on Krishna. And she cannot, she cannot comprehend this. And she left, okay. So devotees have this conviction, because to conduct a festival, huge amount of Lakshmi is required. And when there is service for Narayana, Lakshmi is already there. So this attitude, of depending completely on Krishna, this is very important thing. And this does not mean that we should be irresponsible also. Sometimes, people will ask, Krishna mentions in Bhagavad Gita, Karmanyeva adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadatan. Do your duty. Krishna mentions, do your duty. And then Krishna mentions, you think of me and then do your duty. It's not that, Krishna will take care of everything. We should depend on Krishna, so I will not have to do any work. It's not like that. We have to perform our duty, thinking of Krishna, thinking in the mind that this is whatever work I perform, this is for the satisfaction of Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. This is, according to that, we have to perform activities. Otherwise, this is very, it will become very sinful also. If you use in the name of donation, if we accumulate more donations, and if we are not spending everything for the satisfaction of the Lord, in the service of the Lord, then it's very sinful. And then devotees have this idea also that Lord Krishna protects everyone. Prabhupada, in many of the places, he gives the example of birds and beasts. In this elephant and all, so much food it's taking, but who is providing? In the forest, nobody is going and feeding the elephant, but still Krishna is providing. So if he provides everyone, why not to his surrendered soul? So that's why this depending on the mercy of Krishna means that we have to do our work, and then we have to perform activities for the satisfaction of the Lord. In this regard, Prabhupada gives an example of when the lion, if it is hungry, it is not that cow will come to the lion and then ask, "Oh, please eat." No, like that. He has to work. But when the food is not there, one should not be disappointed also. That is also there. We are depending on Krishna, not that, "Oh, I am depending on Krishna, so Krishna is forced to protect me." That is also not there. If food is not there, then we have to think, okay, this is Lord's plan. Okay, we perform our duty, but still result is not there. But still, it's Krishna's plan. So we should not be very much morose about not getting the results. That is also there. And Prabhupada, he gives, Maharaj was giving an example of Raghunath Das Goswami. He was, from a rich background, and then he accepted the renounced order of life. And then he went to Jagannath Puri, and then his father, because of his affection for Raghunath Das Goswami, he sent some money, okay, for my son, just for maintenance, he gave some money. And then Raghunath Das Goswami will accept that, and then he will use he will invite Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and devotees, he will feed them. He was doing for some time. And after some time, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not, is not invited. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was asking, why Raghunath Das Goswami is not calling? Then Swarup Damodar, he told that, no, now he stops removing money from his father. Oh, that's, Prabhupada praised him, okay, it's very good. He stopped receiving, because Raghunath Das Goswami understands that his father is a materialistic man, so why to take, money from a materialistic person? So he avoided it. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is asking, then how he is sustaining him? Then he told, he will go to some shopkeepers. There, sometimes the shopkeeper will give some grains, and then with that he is living. And then after some time, he was not doing that also. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was asking, why? And then Raghunath Das Goswami was thinking that this is like prostitution, thinking that, oh, he is a good person, he will give me more. This shop, he didn't give me more. So like that mentality comes. So he stopped doing that also. Then at last, what he was doing, in Jagannath Puri, whatever leftover rice is there, that they will throw out. That after throwing that, it will become rotten. Actually, the prasadam is not rotten. It's not. We cannot say in that way. But still, it's not very much eatable. But still, Raghunath Das Goswami, what he was doing, he was collecting those rice, and he was washing it, and then that rice he started taking it. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu very much, appreciated this renunciation principle, that devotees, how much renounced they are. So we should also have, and these Goswamis, they give their literature, their teachings, Yukta Vairagya principle also, in Sanatana Goswami also informs us, Anukulyasya Sankalpa, Pratikulyasya Varjanam, the principles of surrender. 6 principles of surrender he gives. In that also depending on Krishna is there. So devotees, whatever required, that much they are taking and then just they are living. And then for householders, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna gives the example of Janaka Maharaj, how he is a householder, still he is a devotee of the Lord, how he is maintaining, he is performing his duty properly as a king, and then he is doing his devotional activities also. So, devotee should have this understanding, this attitude, that depending completely on Krishna means they have to do their duty in service of the Lord, and they should not depends on the result of that activity. This is their philosophy. Many times we heard that our philosophy is 100% we depend on the Lord, and then 100% we do our duty also. Both are there. So this is our philosophy. So we have to do our duty, and then in the consciousness that just for satisfaction of the Lord, not any personal motivation, then we can achieve the perfection of our life. And whenever famine comes, whenever some difficulty comes, devotees just tolerate. Krishna informs in Bhagavad Gita, Matra Spashastu Kaunteya Shri Toshana Shukadukada Ahama Paino Nityas Tam Titikshasha Bharata. So just tolerate. Devotees know this principle. All this happiness and distress, it belongs to body, it belongs to the senses, temporary senses. So even if distress comes, devotees just tolerate it and then they carry on their duty. So these are some important things, and in the purport also it's mentioned, depending on the mercy of the Lord, it's a first class thing. And one more thing, Madhavendra Puri, when he wanted to install the Gopal deity, there were many Brahmanas. Brahmanas were expert in Vedas, they are expert in Yagyas, but still Madhavendra Puri, he initiated them all in Vaishnava mantras, and then he performed the activity. It's not that having this whatever qualifications that are mentioned in the Vedic literatures, if a Brahmana has all this qualification, and if he is not performing devotional service, and then whatever qualification he has, it's useless. So one should have this Vaishnava qualification of depending completely on the mercy of the Lord, and then giving this knowledge to the others. These are very important things. And then since today is appearance day of Shiva's Pandit, so we can hear some of the activities of him, of his pastimes. In that way, we will be by hearing about him, we will be purified. So Shiva's Pandit is associates of the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and it's mentioned that he is the incarnation of Narad Muni, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he performs his Sankirtan pastimes in his house. It's very famous pastimes. So we can understand from him how a devotee should have this mentality of pleasing the Lord, not considering his own comforts and own happiness and distress. We can hear from these pastimes that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was performing his pastimes in his house. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was there. Whole day they were singing, dancing in ecstasy. In the middle of the night, one of his sons, because he is little deceased, so in the middle of the night, the son passed away. So because of that, the inner side of the house, the women were crying there. So they lost their son, relative. So they were crying. And then Shiva's Pandit, he went inside and then he saw And then he was pacifying the women inside, who are crying. He was informing, see, our worshipable Lord himself, he is dancing in our courtyard. There is no auspicious moment than this. So Lord himself is performing his Sankirtan pastimes. He is dancing in ecstasy. If because of your crying, if Chaitanya Mahaprabhu disturbs and stops his dancing, then I will jump in Ganga. And then he informed about the philosophy also to the women that, see, my son, this body is temporary, he left the body, but because he was hearing the kirtan, surely he must have, he would have gone to, he should have gone to Vaikuntha. So no need to worry, he went to the service of the Lord, he went Vaikuntha. So no need to worry, so please stop crying till Mahaprabhu finishes. So, and then he pacified the woman inside, and then he continued, the son is lost, still you can see, Srinivas Pandit, his own son, he was lost, but still he is having this proper understanding that whatever activity we perform, if this is for satisfaction of the Lord, so there is no need to worry about these things. So this is very auspicious. We have to serve the Lord, we have to please the Lord, we should not disturb the Lord. So he is having this mentality in even this, externally it's in a difficult situation. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu finishes his kirtan, and then he was having, some tribulation in his mind. Oh, something bad went. So he was thinking, he was asking the devotees, and then the devotees who are present there, they then informed the son of Srinivas Pandit was gone, passed away. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, seeing, the activity of Srinivas Pandit, even in this situation, he embraces him, and then he told, how I can leave this, devotees, how I can give up your company. So he was very much satisfied, he was very much pleased. And this is the goal of the devotee, to please the Lord. So in this auspicious day, we can pray for Srinivas Pandit to have blessings. We should have also this attitude of serving the Lord without any material comforts or discomforts. So in this way, we should pray on this auspicious day. Hare Krishna. I'll stop here. Any questions or comments? Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.